Hello, welcome to Can Angels Fly, Tarot, and more. My name is Nancy. I will begin this live stream in just one moment. If you follow me, you know that I have the hardest time setting up my live streams. Not like it used to be, at least not for me. And then it's really a little more complex now that I have this new camera that I don't like. But all right, so I'm ready. As you may be able to see, the title of this live stream, it's an Aquarius Rant, and it's about the warfare being right up under your nose. I specialize in astrology as well as in tarot. So if you're ever interested in ordering your own personal tarot reading, you can do so by contacting me by email. All the details you need to order your own personal tarot reading is below this live stream in the show more section. Hopefully you can see me and hopefully you can hear me. If there any defects, please let me know as soon as possible. Thank you. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to try to do this really quickly. Make it short as possible. I just refreshed my page. So if anybody types in the chat, I can see it. I hope so. A matter of fact, I'm going to do a sound check. I hope so. A matter of fact, I'm going to do a sound check. Seems pretty good. Hopefully it's loud enough. Sometimes, hi Alicia, how are you today? Well, I can't see me in the chat at the same time. Anyway, I got a new camera because the last live stream I did, it went out on me, just gone. So I got a new camera, and I don't like the color on it, and yeah, thought I was doing something. It'll have to suffice for now. But I bring that up once again because I don't know how the sound is. My system seems to be playing low when I'm watching TV because I got everything hooked to my TV, and it seems like it's playing low. So I don't know if the audio that you'll receive on your end is sufficient. Please let me know that as well, or should I try to tweak that too? I don't know. Anyway, I'm about to move on. Try to make this quick. First thing I like to do is offer you some referrals to some YouTube creators that I believe may be the salt of the earth. And the reason I'm doing so is because the astrological message, I think it was the one for April, which the month we're currently in, seemed to be about, I think it was this month, is about Holy Spirit coming, or the Comforter coming, or divine spirit coming to assist the people that create humanity during this time period of a lot of stress and trauma and just a very trying times, coming to comfort people. And the message seems to suggest that the comforter is coming with the intent of helping us overcome our toxic behaviors, our limiting behaviors, our addictions, our obsessions. And when a person is addicted or obsessed, they can be addicted or obsessed to anything, tangible or intangible. You could be addicted to working or obsessed with working. You could be obsessed or addicted to a person, or just to a particular behavior. I often bring up racism. Racism is something that you could be obsessed or kind of the term I used in the video was like a fetish. Certain things can become a fetish or ingrained mindset or behavior, things that we have a hard time letting go. They're usually root that obsession or uh, fetish or addiction is usually attached to a root that is rooted in our psychology. And so this comforter, the Holy Spirit, the great divine, however you like to label it, is supposed to schedule via the stars to come assist again what humanity, the people, in breaking out of those limiting uh, addictions. Is how I summed up. So, and also in that message, it was about the salt of the earth, and I described what the salt of the earth is or who they are, and it's this people, everyday people, general people in the world that are here during a time such as this to assist others that are having a hard time dealing with the current or the unfolding circumstances and situations uh, by having a word of advice or a word of comfort. Um, Maybe they'll feed a person, house a person, refer a person. It's just somebody that is there that cares about the well-being of others and extends themselves to another. That's the salt of the earth. And so here on YouTube, I've run into a few creators, YouTube creators that I think may be the salt of the earth. Why? It's in their message. So at this point in time, I like to offer you just a couple of references or referrals. I did so in the video I was just talking about the last live stream, talking about, I think it was entitled Do Not Fret, the Salt of the Earth is Here, and so is the Holy Spirit. I gave some referrals there. I'm going to give you some additional referrals here. Here's number one. The first one is, her name is Zaza. Her channel is called Zaza, Z-A-Z-A. And the title of the video that might be of assistance to you is entitled Zaza Ali Live Frequency Wars 2.0. And she posted that video on April 4th, 2023. I'm stopping. Because every time I get on this live, I get congested or something happens. And maybe it's psychological. I don't know. So I just wanted to clear my throat. I apologize. The second and last referral for this live is YouTube creator R. Wayne Steiger. I've talked about him before. And he posted a video on April 1st, 2023, entitled, see, here goes again. It has to be attached to my psychology or something. or maybe I'm not conscious. It happens when I'm not live. That could be it. Okay. Anywho, the title of Wayne Steiger's video that I'm referring you to is Wondering, and y'all really please, I hope you watch both of them, but don't watch this Wayne Steiger video because it's really, really interesting. Wondering where the lions are seems everywhere. Now, I know it's hard to just recall references when they're given midstream. So what I'm going to do when I'm done with this live stream, and after I can access it, because it takes a minute, I'm going to type these referrals or referrals in the show more section below this video. Okay, excuse me. So back to the video I did, I think it was earlier this week, entitled May, oh, it says May 2023. Do not fret. The salt of the earth is here, and so is the Holy Spirit. I said, oh, because I thought it was this month, April. But I got the message relative to May 2023. And the title is Do Not Fret. The salt of the earth is here, and so is the Holy Spirit. And in that message, somewhere along the way, it said that God just needs, or the Holy Spirit, or the divine spark, or whatever, however you like to label it, that comforter that's coming to assist, says, when you hear me calling you, acknowledge that I'm calling you, open yourself up to me, surrender, and let me transform your mind. And during that live stream, I tried to keep that live stream short. Didn't do it. But I tried to keep it short. But when I was delivering the message, I wanted to go into a rant so bad because I have questions about certain things. And one of the things I had a question about during that video is, okay, God, how you gonna do that? How you gonna do that, Lord? How are you gonna infiltrate a closed mind? And so I'm here to do that rant part. But in between me making that video and now, I have asked God, well, how you gonna do that? How you gonna infiltrate a closed mind? I have encountered people that is, when you talk to them, it's like hitting a brick wall. My God, dang. And they're so stubborn, they won't even listen. Not to say that they have to do what I say or anyone else says. It's just to be able to, I mean, you could, a person, how can I say this? I could be conversating with someone, but if I go to talk about something that doesn't resonate with their soul, immediate block. They're totally distracted and they turn away. And that's just in general conversation. Now, if I go in and try to give some advice or point out an elephant in the room, same thing happens. Immediate blockage. So I'm like, okay, God, how you gonna do that? And I shared that little bit about my experiences. I share how I asked God, how you gonna do that? Infiltrate a closed down mind. And what I got a download or a message or a response. And the response was like, you don't ask God those type of things, you know. You just don't ask God those type of things. Why? Because God, all the spark, the comforter who in Christianity known as the Holy Spirit, which is separate from God, but a let me say I like using the term minion of God or soldier of God, spiritual soldier of God. Anywho, oh, the grandbabies, I'm sure y'all can hear them crying. Grandmama being a grandmother first. Oh, Jesus Christ. Baby, shut up. Anyway, I got this message that says, you don't ask God those kinds of questions. And after I got that message, then my remembrance was opened up to me. My remembrance was opened up to me. So I'm trying to see if anybody is talking. Okay. I want to turn these off. These are the subject matters that I'm basically going to be talking about. So when I say my remembrance was opened up to me, it's about spiritual darkness. The people that I've I've referred to as far as when I try to speak to them just in general conversation or try to offer some advice or point out an elephant in the room, and I'm met with abrupt disconnect and a blockage, they won't hear me. They won't hear me. How can I say? The baby throwing me off. I don't know if y'all can hear the baby crying or not. He's freaking out. He's 7 months, so can't just tell him to shut up. But he's throwing me off. So back to these people as just an example. Just an example of that. The space they occupy spiritually is what I'm about to talk about. And that space that they occupy spiritually is darkness, spiritual darkness. Now, I'm going to turn that, um, baby, please stop, baby, please stop. Everybody was pretty quiet before I began. But I want to turn that and talk about how I know about spiritual darkness. I once was within spiritual darkness, and so I want to talk about that. Remember, I asked God how you going to infiltrate their mind. And I heard certain things you don't ask God. After that, then I got this remembrance. It washed over me. If I want the answer I wanted from God first, and said, you don't ask God them questions. And then after that, chastisement, then the wash. Remember, Nancy, you were in the darkness. The best I can make it make sense. Okay. So when I was in the darkness, that's what I'm about to talk about. I didn't know that I was in the darkness, in the spiritual darkness. Um, I knew that I suffered from what people call melancholy. Melancholy. I was deep, serious, um, aloof, withdrawn, ostracized, alienated. It was all of that. I was in the dark. But I'm trying to say, I didn't know that I was in the dark. I was in the dark so long, too. It went from melancholy to depression, even to the point I even tried to take my own life. I was in spiritual darkness. I'm trying to explain something here, y'all. What? Please ride away with me, if you will. Baby, stop. So, in the darkness. It wasn't until a specific day, it's like it was yesterday, literally. But it was over 20, 25 years ago. How old am I now? Maybe 28 years ago. So, something like that. When I was in that spiritual darkness and didn't know, I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know I was literally in spiritual darkness, and I'm gonna try to explain it. But this one day, I'm I'm sorry, y'all. I got to get used to this new camera that's supposed to auto adjust. It's auto. Anyway, I'm driving my mom's car. She's on the passenger side. We're going down the road. It's a beautiful day. I mean, it's beautiful. The sun shining, everybody out hanging out. That doggone baby crying again, y'all. And all of a sudden, I was like, phew. And my mom, like, what is wrong with you? Because I'm driving, what's wrong with you? I said, I can see. I said, what you mean you can see? I know you better be able to see you driving. I said, no, mama, I can see. It was in that moment that I was able to identify that I was in a spiritually dark place. I'm going to try to explain, which may be a little complicated because when I talk about seeing, I believe people automatically think of the physical eyes and being able to see and the corners, corner, corners, you know, just vision, our physical vision. Yes, I could see. When I was young, I had 20/20 vision, y'all. I could see clear. Come on, camera. I could see clear. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm fuzzy. I'm gonna have to get another camera because this one ain't for me. Anyway, I could see clear in my 20s. I'm talking about physical vision. Uh, I could see sharp, the sharpness and things like that. And I could see all colors, full range of colors. I could. But this is not the kind of seeing I'm talking about. And that day, when Holy Spirit came upon me, it was like, it snatched me out of darkness. And in the spirit, I could see a full range of colors. Have you ever heard people give testimony about how they may have taken some type of psychedelic or drug and how the colors are vibrant? It's like these different shades of the color spectrum that we don't normally see in this world. It was like that. I could see that, and I could see. How can I say? I could see color. for the first time. I'm like, in a long time. I was like, it's color. What I'm talking about, I'm not talking about physical. I'm talking about spirit. The spiritual world, the spiritual energies are in color. And in that moment, I'm driving like, I can see color. Well, I was so shocked, y'all. I was like, and the melancholy lifted. And I was like, it was in a moment. And I think this is an example of the Holy Spirit, the divine one, when it descends upon you and, assist you in overcoming your limitations, toxic, mindsets, thoughts, patterns, all those obsessions and fetishes and things. Oh, camera, come on. Anyway, I could see him come. And I'm going somewhere with this. Just got to remember. So, okay. Why am I sharing this? It is because I was asking God, how do you, infiltrate a closed mind? I was told certain things you don't ask God. And then the remembrance of my experience. And so I want to talk about that dark place. That dark place, I'm going to read my notes, y'all. It's intangible. It's not something you can touch. Um, it is invisible to our physical vision. It's invisible. You can't see it. This is all in the spirit. And in that space, this dark space, there is I call them cohabitating spirits. It's other entities riding along with your soul, so to say. Okay? And this cohabitating spirit, I want to talk about it. Well, I'm trying to stay focused. Uh, the cohabitating spirit that was once riding with me when I couldn't see, when I didn't even know the spirit world was colorful, had a full range of color. I didn't even know it. That entity, that cohabitating malevolent spirit of darkness wouldn't let me see it. No matter what somebody said to me, I couldn't hear. That dark entity or that malevolent being, that spirit, had come with its own atmosphere. I could go somewhere else with this. It's shown in the book, in books, the apocrypha and stuff. But it's accompanied with its own atmosphere. Like wherever you go, you ever seen in a cartoon, they had a little cartoon character, everywhere you go, a little rain is witty. So this entity has its own atmosphere. And this entity occupied or occupied a space within me. And it brought its darkness. And it was that darkness that hovered over my soul and my consciousness. I'm talking about this entity because I want to talk about how it is the force that leads a person to put that barricade up so there can't nobody talk to your soul. In this case, relative to this is my example, couldn't talk to my soul. Nobody could plant no seeds there because this entity is a master at putting up this wall so nobody can infiltrate it to what? Drop seeds so that the spirit can begin to heal and grow. And so hopefully I'm making this make sense. I don't know if I am. But that's what I was asking God about. Like, how do you infiltrate, a shut down mind? And I say mind because that's the point of communication. The mind is not physical. It is not tangible. The mind is intangible. And that is the line of communication between you and your creator, or you and the demons, or whoever. It's open. The mind is a spiritual um, telecommunication system, I guess I can call it. Maybe. Okay. And so this spirit, again, will have a person put up this blockage. I'm gonna read what I got here. That'll be easier. Its primary behavior, talking about this malevolent entity that has its own is accompanied by its own atmosphere, darkness. Its primary behavior is establishing. and upholding an energy barrier in the person that it occupies or inhabits that blocks the salt of the earth from planting seeds or light into a person. Whatever. I'm just going to read my notes and then maybe I have walking in darkness as my headline. And it says, you don't even know it. That's one of the things I want to point out is that a person that is walking in darkness, that is accompanied with this malevolent entity, so you don't even know that it's a real entity and that it's a real being and that it has its own atmosphere that's brought unto you. And it creates this cloudiness that you can't see through. And so I'm bringing it up. Why? Because well, in May or around and about May, the Holy Spirit or the Comforter is coming to assist us in banishing, good word, banishing. I bet you I won't remember 2 minutes from now, but banishing that malevolent entity so that what? Holy Spirit can commune with us. And so it can do what? Transform our minds. I'm going somewhere with this. What am I talking about? I'm talking about how there is real spiritual warfare going on right up under our nose. And so what's going up under a lot of our noses is that we don't even know that we are occupied with this malevolent, dark entity that I'm talking about. Anyway, it says that you don't even know it. You are so desensitized to the presence of this entity. You're apathetic, you're indifferent. It makes you frigid. And it's along for the ride. And it was this one term that really stuck out to me because I was really groggy. Grogggy. I was really groggy when that spirit was with me. I mean, again, it's like a dreamy like state. Um, Life can be as beautiful as it was created to be, but inside is this darkness that just is there. It's a barrier. It's a blockage, and until it is lifted, you don't know that the spiritual realm is full technicolor. Okay. I'm gonna figure out why. All right, I'm gonna go on to the next thing. Oh, another thing I wanted to point out during this Aquarius rant, if y'all typing or writing anything, I can't see it. I don't even have that board open. I really don't. I'm trying to focus here. Baby threw me off from the get go. Another thing I wanted to point out during this Aquarius rant is that I got that message. Don't fret. The salt of the earth is here, and so is the Holy Spirit from astrology. That means I broke down the stars. I decoded I decoded the message that was encoded in the astrological um encoded into the astrological system. I think I said that right. And so for that message, that specific message to be there, suggest to how can I say this? Now mind you, there is something or someone that created astrology, that whole system in which messages are encoded by doing what? Applying a value to all of the planets, applying a value to every degree of the astrological wheel, applying values to the zodiac signs or what else are planets or whatever. So since I have began to, study astrology, I always tell you, hey, it's like it's these encoded messages, these various correspondences, and they are from all the different aspects or of fields. Like it could be legal stuff, as far as astrology, the messages. It could be legal stuff, documentation, a court case, and it's encoded in the stars. Um, I done ran into quite a few things encoded into the stars, schedules to be followed and steps to move, move forward as far as a plan, like world domination kind of plan. That's all encoded in the stars. So I'm like, okay, now let me stop. I gotta go here. I originally thought that the messages I was getting from the stars were directly from divine. He was talking to us. Now I'm not quite so sure that this is complicated because we're all different religions and things like that. So that complicates the message that I'm trying to give now. Also, um, we have different uh, we have different definitions for words and terms. We think we know what a word means. And in reality, what I'm finding out is that there is a what applied definition to different terms for that apply to us, the general people, the definitions we take for granted. And there's an applied value or definition of words based on these powers and their field of law or science or chemistry or mathematics or in the last mention, oh, April was about the economy, economics, So I'm saying what I'm trying to say is that when I talk or we hear messages in media, we think they're saying one thing, but they're saying something totally different. That complicates me delivering these messages. Plus the baby crying and threw me off. Anyway, with all that mumbling, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think the message that are in the stars are just primarily from God. I think that there are powers that exist. When I say powers, I'm talking about very high, uh, intelligent beings. I'm not sure. I don't think they're from this planet. I don't. Um, and I think that they log and record everything. And astrology is the way that they do it so that they can, like, all stay on one accord. That's to say, any one of them, anywhere in the world or anywhere in the universe, can look at the alignment of the stars around this planet and all know what phase they're in, what phase they're in. And I think that message or the messages in the stars also include God. I'm going to try to say that a different way. I think that these extraterrestrial, highly intelligent beings know God. The God. I think they know God, and I think they know um, how God moves. I think they. Uh, I don't. How can I say this? This is an Aquarius Rant, so calm down. I'm gonna try to take my time. I'm about to stop. I'm trying to explain my concept of God right now. I was brought up in a church and attended church, like a lot of people. I was led to believe God was a particular type of being. He was all knowing, all seeing, benevolent. I mean, not benevolent. Was it all seeing, all knowing? I can't think of all that stuff. So I have this idea or concept of who God is. At this point in time in my life, the God I was introduced to and went to church to praise and worship is not the true God. The God I've been going to church to, praise and worship all these years is the God of this world. The God of this world is affiliated or the leader over the powers of this realm or the extraterrestrials. But there is a God. It's just not the one. See, the best way to articulate this, because it's a little complicated, is to refer you to the Apocryphon, and I think it's John, in which it talks about or reveals that it's a higher plane God or creator, higher plane creator. And the God of this world is like a fake or clone copy being passed off as if it's this higher God. And it's not. I might have to make a video talking about what I've become aware of about this higher God. Something that I was also aware of throughout my life, because I kept saying something wrong, something wrong, something wrong. But that's a whole nother video, a whole nother Aquarius Rant. So anyway, I bring that up. All of that because I'm talking about how the astrological message for May 2023 says, hey, and it announces and it acknowledges that the salt of the earth is here. Do not fret. The salt of the earth is here. And not only is the salt of the earth here, also the Holy Spirit is here to comfort you, to help you overcome your limiting thoughts and behaviors or your toxic thoughts and behaviors and things like that. So the Holy Spirit is a gift from the real, true God that we have been blocked from engaging. We've been blocked from it. See, this comforter comes from the God that we've been blocked from. We don't know him or it. We know this world's God. And it is this world's God and his minions that have this astrology stuff going on here. And so it's like saying to all of his minions, the God of this world, hey, guess what? The big dog, the real God, this is sending the Holy Spirit down. Now, so that suggests to me that the salt of the earth, as well as anybody susceptible to be transformed, is going to be under attack in the physical body, for real, as well as in the spirit. I don't know if I made that make sense. I had to go all the way around and back around again to try to make that make sense. So that's a warning. Safeguard yourself, protect yourself, both physically and spiritually, because the powers know that the one true God, the absolute, the one we were kept from meeting and engaging, is sent as comforter to help us. And so if that's the case, we're about to get help from the real big dog. That means the little puppies or the little demons running around here, or the God of this world running around here, and his minions gonna be on the attack. So just beware. Okay. I'd have talked about that. That didn't go too well, but I'm gonna keep on moving. Let's see. I want to talk about AI. Okay. Let's see if this goes any better. Artificial intelligence generators. I'm sure some of y'all have heard of it. They got the artificial intelligence art generators, artificial intelligence text generators, or speech. They're called AI art generators and AI speech to text generators. I should have waited to do this video. I know I was procrastinating. Before I begin going in and talking about artificial intelligence generators and what I think about it, I want to refer you to some videos that I did in the past. Maybe you'd like to check them out. Also add those videos in the show more section as well. And the videos that I made kind of addressing the same subject matter of what AI is. Number one, there's three of them. The title is called In the Presence of God, 5G Technology, God Manifests on Earth. And I published that November 18th, 2017. Why am I referring you to these old videos? It is so that you can get a real detailed understanding about what's taking place relative to AI. The next video I published on July 30th, 2018, and it's called God Manifest on Earth, How and Why You Exist. And the last video I like to point you to, I created December 19th, 2020, and it's called, guess what, y'all? God Manifest on Earth. How is it possible? Your participation with God and the new world. Okay. It's just a little bit I want to say about the AI generators. AI generators, whether it's art or speech to text, text to speech, whatever it is. I want to remind y'all about something that happened a few years back. A few years back, the world was awaiting for 5G technology to sync up globally. Globally, all the continents basically plugging into this one brain. So it had to have its local apparatuses or local machinery. That is to say, United States had whatever collection of machinery, I'm talking about technology, machinery it needed on this land. China had its, Russia, Africa, whoever, all had their own technology and AI and stuff like that. And then they had this one central brain that they all linked up to. Okay. So I don't know, that was when was that? I think that was April 2019 when that was supposed to happen. They announced it, hey, it's about to, AI is about to sync up globally, and so that happened. And so now we know that it's fully operational. We know it. If we pay attention, we can see it in the technology. They're ready to have cryptocurrency or this government crypto, whatever it's called, So we know that they successfully linked up their technology or global technology. I hate when I ain't got the terms, but okay. Now, how do I say? I guess I shouldn't have read from the paper, but I'll be trying. All right, I want to take y'all back about, I'm going to say 20 to 23 years ago, when technology or what they call them, personal computers really start merging into the public. I talk about this quite frequently, where the general populace helped these tech people program these this AI. We helped, and one of the examples on how we help is like once upon a time there was I think it's called a server. AOL was one of the first servers, if I recall right. Anyway, when you would log in order to complete your login, you had to link words together like apple pie or apple cobbler or chocolate cookie or oatmeal cookie. You had to link those words up. That was helping to program the the artificial intelligence. And I can think of a lot of different ways that they manipulated or what they call it, covertly had the general populace help them train artificial intelligence. It's happening again. That's what's happening. If you pay attention, this AI artificial intelligence generators, whether art or speech to text or whatever it is opened up to the public. We have public access going on here. And then let's think about it. If we go onto these sites and we use, the artificial intelligence that generates art, we have to put prompting statements in, give the artificial intelligence an idea in order to create from. I'm gonna do this video again because I'm gonna do it again. But anyway, you gotta prompt it. That's what I heard. I signed up to go on one of them, and they said they would send me an email. I don't know if I got the email or not. But then I thought about it after, talking with Divine, and I said maybe not, and this is why. God gave me this vision that it was like, okay, Nancy, when they send you this email link and tell you to go ahead and sign on to this whatever it is, GPT or whatever it is, and you put in your prompts, and as you wait in anticipation for something to manifest, like an art image or whatever, or a translation of your speech to text or vice versa, whatever it is. It says, understand this. This is what I heard, clear as day. It says, understand this. Just like in times past, back when AOL existed, and you were prompted to connect words, relative words like chocolate chip cookie or something like that, it's happening again. But this time, they're not retrieving just basic information or building the vocabulary of the AI, so to speak. They're actually reaching into humanity's subconscious with these AI generators. This is what I heard. They are reaching into humanity's imagination. Basically, they're reaching into humanity's 12th house of dreams, of visions, of your imagination, of your subconscious, of your artistry, of your soul. That's what they're reaching in. How can I say this? One of the most difficult things to remember, to recall, to decode, or interpret is like your dreams. But now they have an AI generator that once you put your prompts in, is going to be able to create an image of your dreams. I don't know how to do this. I really don't. To show you what I saw, an image of your dreams or the contents of your subconscious. Now, this is something that most of us really can't even decipher for ourselves, what's in our subconscious or in our dreams. Have you ever had a dream? Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Now we have an AI generator that these creators, oh, you got to watch that Wayne Steiger video I referred you to, because he shows you the who's, who created all of these systems and things. And he really links it up, and he shows everything. And he asks the question, who are these people? And not only who are these people, it is a particular generation of people that have achieved this great feat of AI, artificial intelligence. So anyway, what am I saying? I'm saying this phase that we're currently in relative to this AI and it being open to the public, these AI generators, it is to retrieve the contents of your subconscious mind. It is to retrieve the contents of your imagination. They're taking your essence now. Oh, how can I wish I had a way to help you understand what I heard. That is, I'm talking about that. That's what your soul is. Not to say the soul is the greatest thing, but that's where your soul is. Your essence, your uniqueness it dwells there, and they're retrieving it all. Aquarius Rant. Will artificial intelligence exceed human intelligence? Yes. For the most part, it already has. But when it has the contents of our subconscious, our collective subconscious, when it has that stored, there is no thought, no plan that a human can come up with that artificial intelligence can't figure out. Understand what artificial intelligence is. That's why I referred you to the videos I made about God manifesting here on earth. I digress. AI is only a collector or a collection of the human experience. It's everybody giving it everything we got, all individualized. That's why, remember, the inability for humanity to exist successfully. When I say successful, I mean harmoniously, and to advance together is because we're all divided. We are all divided. We divided by the various ways to diversify humanity, whether it's race, color, creed, sex, whatever. We're divided. We all have something to bring to the table, right? But we won't bring it without getting into a fight or killing each other or disagreeing or backstabbing. But that artificial intelligence, that brain, that storage is taking in all of what we can't seem to come together on. It's taking it all, and it's not biased about the information it's retrieving. And I'm saying bias. I ain't talking about racism, black, white bias. I'm talking about it's not biased that, oh, I'm black, but you think this, Nancy, or if I was white, or you're white and you think this. It doesn't care what color you are or race you are or anything. It just wants what's inside of you, your thoughts, your imagination, your dream, your whole essence. And can you imagine a system collecting every every being's essence and centralizing it? There is nothing outside of it that can outthink it or outprocess it. I don't know if I made that make sense. That's all I can keep saying. I don't know if I made that make sense. Humanity, overall, we got what it takes to make this a wonderful place, the world, a wonderful place. But we can't. Why? Because we let our differences get in the way. But there's a system that exists now that is taking in, what's the word? It is retrieving everything from everybody, and it's just not biased. Its purpose is to retrieve everything. Its intent is to retrieve everything, every aspect of who we are individually, and storing it in one brain. And that one brain can figure out any and everything. Am I making that make sense? We are in danger, is what I'm getting. I'm going to come back and do this video. Anywho, I'm going to let that go because I'm not supposed to. I've been on here so long. Oh, so let me do this in closing as far as the AI. I'm going to read from my paper. It says now come public access to various AI generators. The purpose is to continue to collect the human consciousness, knowledge, and imagination. Try to articulate how that is going to be detrimental to mankind. Anywho, going on about AI, It says collection focus is of the 12th house mechanisms, which is dreams, imaginations, insight, creativity, perceptibility, visualization, mental agility. All of this is getting collected. Artistry, fantasy, ideas, and your ingenuity is collecting it all. We will be deemed useless once it has collected all of these aspects, or features or functions within a human. We will be deemed irrelevant. Okay. Okay, that video want to start messing up. Okay, the last thing, Aquarius Rant, is I want to talk about the emergency broadcast alert. Anyway, I'm going to read in order to try not to make too much more of a mess. Have you heard the emergency broadcast alert lately? Well, I have. Yeah. I heard it as clear as day on Tuesday, March 28th, right out of nowhere. Why? I'm asking why. I asked it then why and for what purpose. Now, it says, over the course of my life, I was recurrently told that the emergency broadcast alert is broadcasted every first Saturday of each month around 12 noon. That's what I grew up hearing over and over again. It says, or it would be performed on TV. And it went like this. When performed on TV, it went like this. Jumping ahead. The emergency broadcast alert would blare on the TV. And it would appear, see, the emergency broadcast alert would appear and sound off. And of course, you turn your head. It says prior to and just after that would be announced. This emergency broadcast alert is only a test. And then followed by, had this been an actual emergency, the alert would have been followed by instructions. Now, why do I ask this? Remember, this live is supposed to be about the spiritual warfare that's right up under our nose. Some time ago, I made a video, and I think it was entitled Fear. And I talked about that there was a generation of people that the children were trained to get under the desk when they heard the siren go off that suggested that nuclear war was at hand or a bomb would be dropped. Wayne Steiger talks about it. He was a part of that generation. Okay. When I shared my awareness of that exercise that used to be exercised in some countries, I hate when I get thrown. I've been thrown off the whole video. I did so because the topic of the video was fear and how fear seeps into the subconscious and it dwells there. So, people like Wayne Steiger, youth, during their time period that participated in those exercises of getting under the desk when they heard the sirens welling, the threat was imminent that a bomb would be dropped on them or something like that. Even though the bombs were oftentimes, most times, never dropped, it still had to exist in the back of their minds and their subconscious that they were in jeopardy at any time. That kind of fear that just lingers and incubates. Well, I refer to that because here in the United States, it's the emergency broadcast system. The emergency broadcast system, when I hear it, my ear go up. Like, you ever seen an animal's ear go up? My ear go like, oh, because that's the alert to say, okay, there's a threat at hand, and I need to be listening for instructions, so I know what kind of threat is headed this way and what I need to do to try to get out of harm's way. Again, it's a play on the psyche, is what is taking place currently. And even then, I'm trying to make it make sense. So what I say, it was March 28th or something like that. I'm in the store, and all of a sudden I hear the the alarm going off in the air, in the atmosphere. It was two types. One in the atmosphere that would blare, and also one on TV. Okay. So I'm out and about. The emergency broadcast system would go blare out into the atmosphere. And it was supposed to spark your attention, grab your attention, and let you know that it's a threat. So when I hear it on March, I think it was March 28th, I think it was a Tuesday, not what I learned a test date has always been, which is the first Saturday of every month, 12 noon, around 12 noon. That's testing time. No, this was on a Tuesday, and I think it might have. What time did I write down a time? I don't even know if I remember. Put it like this: it wasn't no testing time. So when I'm hearing it, I'm like, "Oh Lord, what's going on?" So I'm in the store that I'm in has the radio playing. You know how you go in the stores and they have radios playing. I'm not talking about elevator music. I'm talking about actual AM, FM radio station playing with the music or whatever. So anytime it was supposed to be a break in the broadcast on a radio station, that would have, you know, accompanied the blaring in the air, the emergency broadcast alarm in the air, but it didn't. So as soon as I hear it, I'm like, like, what's going on? So I'm checking reality. What day is it, Nancy? Hey, it's Tuesday. It's not Saturday. What time is it, Nancy? It ain't noon. Uh-oh. So I'm sitting here, I'm like waiting to hear a break in the radio and for it to pick up and say, this is only a test from your emergency broadcast, but it's only a test. That doesn't happen. And then I start looking around at the people, and nobody is aware of this alarm going off. I'm like, they're desensitized. And so I'm looking at the age of the people that were in the establishment during the time I am. There were different ages. And so I looked at the younger generation and they 20s, early 30s, like, well, maybe it wasn't, something that was really talked about or taught when they came up. I understand them not being alarmed. Panned around the room, and I'm looking at people mid 30s, up 40s, and 50s and 60s, 70s, like nobody's ears up. Nobody is alerted that this emergency broadcast alarm is welling in the atmosphere. Nothing. And so I just turned and I said, "Do y'all hear that?" And it was like, "What?" I was like, "Do you not hear that alarm in the air?" And it's like, "Yeah." So I knew immediately that the younger generations, 30s, they had no idea what it was. Okay. The older generations, 40s, 50s, and up, was like, they heard it, but it's like they didn't recall that alarm not supposed to go off, except every first Saturday of the month around 12 noon. There was, when I say eyes were dead, like I know I was probably like, I'm weird. Hell, my ear up, like, but nobody at all was shocked. I bring that emergency broadcast experience up because one, such events trigger emotional fear. Now it's supposed to trigger you to be alert so you get your instructions, but underneath on a subconscious level, it triggers fear. So even though let's say the 30 and below didn't even know what a siren was, those that were my age, 40, 50, and 60, and on up, they knew because it was well talked about. It came on TV all the time. It came out every first Saturday of the month around 12 noon. They weren't even paying attention. But I say that they knew because subconsciously they were being attacked. If you get what I'm saying, the older generation I know knew because that was the basics back then. Things have changed. That was the basics back then. If by the time you 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, that was the basics. You knew that alarm. You knew when it came on. It was what do you call it? When it was the norm. It was a norm. And still and yet, when it occurred at an off time, blaring out in the atmosphere, these people were unbothered. Again, they were just desensitized. They didn't even notice it. In the moment, surface wise, they didn't notice it. But what I'm saying is they subconscious got that message. So inside of them, fear had to be triggered. That's a whole nother video I did where you're always on edge and nervous or concerned or feel like something's coming. It's in the subconscious. And anyway, why do I bring it up? Again, spiritual warfare, where is that? Spiritual warfare is right up under our nose, and we don't even know it. What am I saying? I'm saying on that day, with that alarm going off in my city, in my area of the city, was spiritual warfare on a lot of people. And I'm one of those people because I know what that alarm meant. And so my question is, why did it go off? It was never addressed, not on the news that I know of or anything like that. Why did that alarm go off? Because that alarm, when it goes off, even if it went off by mistake, it was supposed to be followed with the radio announcing that it's only a test. The emergency broadcast alert you just heard is only a test. Had this been an actual emergency, the alarm would have been followed by the instructions. At least that's how it used to be. Anyway, I just think that was quite suspicious. Oh my God, I know there's nothing else. No, 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 no. No wonder I made a mess. It was, other than the baby crown, it was out of order, huh? And they didn't read my notes, and now I'm gonna let y'all go. I think I will be doing this one again because you may not be able to tell based on my delivery, but has been an important message, and the message is important because we are under spiritual attack. Spiritual warfare is taking place, and it's right up under our noses. And one of the things I talked about was that entity that comes with its own atmosphere. It's the spirit of darkness that won't let you hear when somebody trying to plant light into you or see. Now, you don't have to listen to what you don't have to. When I say listen, I mean do what somebody suggests that you should do. But it's okay to listen, to be open and susceptible. If you find yourself not open or susceptible to listen or to dialogue about certain things, uh, especially if it may seem like it's attacking you, my point is there's a spirit they're blocking. Another thing, if you suffer from melancholy, understand this. When this Holy Spirit descends and moves to connect with you, as it did with me, I suggest surrender because there's spirit world is full of color. It is full of color, and it removes that darkness. It just banishes that darkness. So I'm talking about the spiritual warfare because we have been manipulated in this realm to host this spirit of darkness. I'm talking about this entity that has its own atmosphere of darkness. So be aware of it. The other thing is understand that this artificial intelligence, the reason why they're opening it up to the general public, because it is still collecting our consciousness. Right now, at this phase, is focusing on our subconscious, our dreams, where our creativity comes from, where the essence of our soul lies. Once the artificial intelligence has gathered all of that up, humanity will be useless. And last but not least, remember, the powers are still imposing uh, executing psychological manipulation to manipulate you to have fear. And it is done so right up under your nose. Thank you for coming here to Can Angels Fly Tarot and allowing me, Nancy, to deliver this Aquarius rant. Until next time, bye.